What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As I mentioned in the last video, we are going to be taking apart this EP3 and pulling the motor out and getting it ready for its new motor because this one is blown. First things first, we got to get this car lifted up on the quick jacks and then we can begin taking it apart. It is a little later in the day, so I probably won't get too far tonight, but I just wanted to go ahead and get a little bit of a jump start. That way tomorrow or the next video we can get the motor out and get the new one ready to go in. Now that we got the car up in the air, we can go ahead and start taking everything apart up top as well as underneath, so that way the motor can be ready to pull out. This motor actually does have a little bit of work done to it. It is not just stock. It's got an intake. It's got a painted valve cover. I'm pretty sure it's paint. The previous owner was telling me. It's got, actually the whole transmission is painted as well. Pretty unique. Red's a interesting color to put on a pretty stock engine bay, but you know, to each their own. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start taking obviously the wheels off, all the accessories on top of the motor, and gonna go ahead and start working underneath at the same time. So gonna go ahead and set you guys up in a little bit of a time lapse and see how much we get done. Almost forgot that I had to drain all the fluids out of the motor. That would have been pretty bad, but I got the coolant draining. I'm gonna let that slowly drain for a while before taking the drain plug all the way off, and then obviously gonna do the oil and probably transmission fluid as well, just so that way when we do pull the motor out, it's as light as possible and we don't have to worry about any fluid leaking out when we tip it one way or another. So yeah, gonna let all these fluids drain out and then we'll get back to tearing it apart. All right guys, we're gonna go ahead and keep going with taking everything apart. Got my little tray for all the bolts right here that we take off. It's always fun to see how many extra bolts we have left over when we put the motor back in. Every time it's a different number. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but I guess we'll see how many we have left at the end of this. Gonna go ahead and see how far we can get tonight. Alright guys, so I didn't know this because this is my first EP3 I'm working on, but I'm pretty sure that the ECU is located inside the car because like on my car in the newer Civics, the ECU is right here, but I was looking and if you follow this big loom of wires right here, it goes inside the car. So I'm assuming that means that the whole wiring harness has to stay in the engine bay. So like everything that basically is connected to this. So I'm pretty sure I have to pull all of that off and, you know, tuck it out of the way. Unfortunately, my dad is not here right now to explain it to me, but I'm just gonna go off of what I know and what I can see, and that clearly goes inside the car. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start tearing off the wiring harness, I guess, and basically it's just gonna be an empty motor when it comes out. Usually we leave the wiring harness on, but like I said, typically the ECU is located right here, not inside the car. So I guess that's gonna be the next step. Now that I've got all these vacuum lines and fuel lines and everything off, I can go ahead and start doing that. So. All right guys, so off camera, I went ahead and disconnected the cables that connect to the throttle body because this car is drive-by cable. And what else? Oh, I went ahead and disconnected the alternator and the starter grounds and sensors, because not really much to see since they are under the intake manifold, but that allowed the charge harness to be freed up. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure the top side of the motor, besides the header, because that's usually easier to access from below for the most part, but I think that's gonna do it for today. Got, you know, a decent amount of progress done, more than I was anticipating. But as you guys can tell, all the lines that go either under the car or inside the car are disconnected off of the motor. I have them all kind of, let's see where a few are, like some right here. I have the fuel line tucked up right here. The cables are up here for the throttle body. Just so they're out of the way. That way when we do go to and pull the motor out, they're not in the way and getting tugged on. Like I said, guys, it is a little late. I do have work tomorrow, so I just wanted to go ahead and get a quick head start on this. I will be back tomorrow to try and start ripping underneath it apart and, you know, getting the motor ready to come out. It shouldn't take too much work. Usually underneath's quite a bit easier, at least on cars that I've worked on. I've never done EP3, so we will see. But that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. It's a bit of a short one, but we kind of had a lot going on. I am proud with the progress that we made. So as always, make sure to like and subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.